Well, the most important part of Team USA's good luck tonight will be if their bats can find some way early in the game to solve Pedro Luis Lazo, who is the starting pitcher for Cuba. He is a 27-year-old, 6'3", 236-pounder, and it's part, again, of the gamesmanship that you find so much in Olympic baseball. The Americans did not know that Lazo was the starting pitcher until 45 minutes before the game. And the rest of the United States lineup very similar. In fact, the same lineup as last night with one exception, and that is Pat Borders, the veteran who was hurt and apparently hurt badly at the end of the Cuba game, gets the nod tonight as the catcher.
I'm taking a quick look at the Cuban defensive alignment. Herman Mesa, which is the Cuban version of Ozzie Smith, lots of flair, great glove at shortstop, fantastic range, and Omar Linares, one of the more productive hitters the last several years, over at third base. Those two guys figure to see a lot of action with the slider from Lazo, especially from right-handed hitters pulling the ball to the left side of the field.
Brent Abernathy, some of the Team USA people feel the MVP of this team in Olympic baseball. He has 14 hits in 34 at-bats. Last summer in the Pan Am Games, the second baseman for Team USA was Adam Kennedy, who's now playing for the Anaheim Angels. Sandy Alderson and Bob Watson of Team USA said Kennedy played very well for them in the Pan Am Games. Abernathy has played even better in the Olympic Games. And Lazo, with that nasty breaking ball away, gets Abernathy on strikes. So this one's starting out just as Saturday's game did when Cuba was outstanding against the United States with Jose Ibar pitching, but some heated moments in that game. Ernie Young hit by a pitch with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Then brushes catcher Ariel Pestano, and the bench is emptied, although nothing serious transpired from that. And finally in the 8th inning, pinch runner Yobal Duenas takes aim at Pat Borders on this collision at home plate. It appeared that Borders was seriously hurt, although it turned out his ankle injury does not prevent him from playing tonight. But you got the sense that Team USA realized that they were outmanned, Joe, in that game, and there was a lot of frustration.
Well, they were outclassed in every category. Cuban out-hit them, they out-pitched them, they outplayed them defensively.
That ball hit pretty well to left field. Hit very well to left field by Neal. It is gone! Mike Neal has homered, and Team USA scores first. The man who got the hit that put the United States in the Olympics last summer. He won the Pan Am Games for Team USA in the semifinals. He won the first game here against Japan, and he has gotten them their biggest hit against Cuba.
Important for Team USA to really get that belief, that confidence that they can beat this team. We talked about how they were outplayed the last time these two teams matched up. And so far early, a lot of adrenaline, a lot of emotion, and a huge lift for Team USA and Ben Sheets, who hasn't taken the mound yet.
And for Mike Neal, it is his 3rd home run. He's only had 6 hits in the Olympics, but 3 have gone out. And that's the first ball that we have seen hit out of the ballpark in that direction. And it's a left-hand hitter of all people that does it.
That was really unusual. That was very live coming off the bat.
Ernie Young takes a strike, and it's 1-1.
Well, this ballpark has seen so many well-hit balls go out to the track and just die. But that one really kept going, unlike any ball that we have seen hit in the tournament.
And there's a sharp base hit to left for Ernie Young. So after the first 2 batters struck out, didn't look very good against Lazo, a home run and a base hit by Ernie Young.
Very important to put a couple of good at-bats together early by a couple of these more experienced hitters like Mike Neal, like Ernie Young, and now John Cotton, to really show the rest of the lineup.
Well, Joe, you just saw a shot there that was very telling. Cuba already on the mound. They're going to get somebody up in the bullpen. There goes Ernie Young. Pitches a ball. Throw there. Young is out. 22-year-old Ben Sheets from Santa Mont, Louisiana. His 3rd start in the Olympics, and he takes the mound, pitching for gold with a 1-run lead and facing the veteran Luis Ulacia, one of the truly outstanding Cuban players. Ulacia, 30 7 years of age. He had his birthday during these Olympics. Has been a terrific leadoff hitter. And Joe, just again from your experience pitching a seventh game of a World Series, what is this first inning like for Ben Sheets?
The first inning is really the key. It's all on adrenaline. You could tell by the way he ran out to the mound. It looked like his feet didn't even touch the ground. And it's good for him to have all that adrenaline working for him, almost like a closer coming in to get those last couple of outs, because he is a high fastball pitcher. Pitches up in the strike zone, especially when he gets ahead in the count. So the adrenaline actually is his friend as opposed to a field pitcher who likes to spot the ball down and work the ball on both sides of the plate. Has to do his best to try to control it.
And Ulucia hits one to right field. That's hit pretty well, but looks like Young will have room, although it appears the ball is carrying much better tonight than it has in any prior game of these Olympics. Let's take a look at the rest of the Cuba lineup. The outstanding veteran middle of the order, Omar Linares, Orestes Quintalan, and Antonio Pacheco. But it was the bottom of the order that most hurt Team USA in Saturday's game.
See him taking a deep breath like he is really trying to get it together to put a little extra on a high fastball.
Instead, the curve, and it gets Gomez 2 down.
Well, that surprises me, but it's a great sign if Ben Sheets is able to get his breaking ball down in the zone, especially early when he's fighting all of that adrenaline, because then he can play a vertical game by pitching up with the high fastball and down right here with the breaking ball. That's a great combination for a crossing fastball pitcher.
And now the outstanding Omar Linares up the middle. Adam Everett can't play it, and it dribbles out into center field for a hit. So Linares is on with the first hit for Cuba. In the gold medal game in Atlanta when Cuba beat Japan, Linares hit 3 home runs. Quintalan also had one that was over 500 feet. But remember, that was played with aluminum bats and in a hitter-friendly ballpark in Atlanta.
It's a different story. Not a very lively ball with the wood bats.
Great pitch, strike 3. Anabel Rosario of Puerto Rico is the home plate umpire tonight. And Ben Sheets gets through that first inning. It's 1-0 Team USA.
The Americans come to bat in the 5th, hoping to build on that slim 1-0 lead.
Jose Ibar, the 31-year-old Cuban veteran, has now thrown 10 scoreless innings against the United States over a start and a relief appearance. And the Team USA will have the 7, 8, 9 men to face him in the 5th. Minkiewicz, Borders, and Everett. Comes in with a strike, and it's 3-2.
Well, you couldn't blame Doug Minkiewicz for swinging at that pitch a little bit up, especially with what he has done with the bat in this tournament. That's why he was asking the umpire if he thought this ball was up.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. That's what he asked Anabel Rosario. Is that a ball?
Well, when you're swinging the bat well, you don't have to always get a strike. It's that aggressiveness up at the plate that really does it for you.
Minkiewicz 12 for 27 in the Olympics. And he hadn't been hitting well before the Olympics. Takes inside, ball 4. So USA gets a leadoff runner.
Pestano really tried to sell that, thinking that was strike 3. The umpire doing a good job staying with it, and Minkiewicz worked the walk.
So now we'll see if Pat Borders will be asked to bunt. You go to Cuba, street corners in Cuba, they talk about baseball. We said earlier, it's their passion, it's their life, and most Cubanos are very knowledgeable about the game. And one of the big questions that's always debated in Cuba is who is the best pitcher? And there are plenty of candidates. Borders, line drive, base hit right center field. Minkiewicz is on his way to third. The ball to the wall. Minkiewicz being waved home, and he will score without a play. 2-0 United States. Now Adam Everett, the batter. Runner at second, nobody out, so Everett's goal here is to do something to get Borders to third. it will be by bunt. They are going to play it at third, and Borders is out. Ebar up the mound, and Borders cut down at third.
Well, there's a classic example of how well the Cuban team is fundamentally. Ebar's only intention on that bunt from Adam Everett, it was a firm bunt, was to go to third base. Borders easily out. And when you're on second base, you have to make sure the ball's down before you can go anywhere, so you can't get the biggest of jumps. But that bunt, a little too firm.
Well, every Cuban player, although that's an extremely close play, when you see it in slow motion, it looked like Borders might have been in. But the ball beat the runner, and an umpire will almost always call a runner out in that case.
Well, it goes to show you on that play how much confidence Linares has in Ebar's ability to field that bunt, because he was retreating right back to third base. Ebar executed it perfectly.
2 strikes to Abernathy. And with the runner going, it's a base hit to left field. And Everett will get to third on an 0-2 count. Tommy Lasorda starts the runner.
He's lost his mind. He has lost his mind. What in the world? There is no way that type of play is supposed to work, especially 0-2. Why would Abernathy swing at this pitch 0-2? It's above his shoulders, for goodness sakes. Tommy Lasorda has always been hit and run happy. What a great time for it to work.
Well, now we will get a pitching change as Borges again to the mound. And this will be the 20-year-old Miles Rodriguez that will be summoned in to relieve Ebar. The United States with a 2-0 lead and a chance to add to it in the 5th. On Monday, when the softballers were playing in their semifinal games, Tommy Lasorda took his baseball team from a practice field adjacent and said, let's go in and help cheer on the ladies to victory. One ball, one strike. 100 miles an hour. And that draws the roar from the crowd. 100 miles an hour.
Well, I wonder if he's got one quicker than that, because those velocity numbers just keep going north. 160 kilometers an hour. By my math, that equals 100, right?
You are a whiz at conversion. That's why we brought you along, Joe. They're loaded up for Team USA. But Miles Rodriguez is loaded up too. And he's going to bring another blast right here at Mike Neal. Two and two.
You can't realize how tough it is hitting. Ted Williams, probably the greatest hitter that ever lived, said hitting a baseball is the toughest thing to do in all of sport. But then when it's thrown at 100 miles an hour, how you have to start your bat so much sooner, it's really unbelievable.
Struck him out, and Neal ended up chasing one away.
Well, you can understand why, just as we were talking about. You've got to start that bat so much sooner. You're already off and moving before the ball really is out of the hand of Rodriguez.
The scouting report was not wrong. So now it's Ernie Young with 2 outs. Ernie Young is single to left, grounded to third. Ernie Young, who played a full year in the big leagues. He was the everyday center fielder for the Oakland A's in 1996. Back in the minor leagues, has put on 40 pounds, become a power hitter. 35 homers this year at Memphis. And just Sunday, became a dad again. His 4th child, first son, Elijah. And in Mesa, Arizona, that's where Ernie Young's family is. They're watching and hoping that dad can bring home a goal. One hit right here could really put the United States in a comfortable position. 4 runners in the inning for Team USA, but only 1 has scored. Ernie Young, base hit, center field. 1 scores. Abernathy home. 2 score. 4-0.
Boy, that's amazing from the standpoint that Ernie Young, a power hitter, those are the type of hitters that are really vulnerable to the good fastball. If you can get a high velocity fastball over the plate, you can carve a lot of them up. But right down the middle of the plate, that's what you have to do against a fireballer, make him get the ball down to have any chance. Ernie Young zoned him perfectly. How big is that hit?
And along with Pat Borders, you'd have to say Ernie Young's the most experienced hitter at a high level of experience on Team USA. And that fastball, or at least the speed of the fastball, didn't seem to intimidate Ernie Young.
When you talk about experienced major league hitters, and if they get it in their mind that they're just looking for a fastball, you can throw it 105, and you give them a couple cracks at it, they're going to be on it.
John Cotton with first and third, 2 men out. Maybe a different story for a player like John Cotton, who has not spent very much time in higher levels of ball. In fact, this year was the first year John Cotton ever spent a full year at AAA. Wilkerson at third, and Ernie Young, whose 2-run single has made it a 4-0 game. The runner at first. Ooh, and Cotton got smoked, and that didn't sound good. John Cotton takes first. They're loaded up again, and the 9th batter of the inning for the United States will be Mike Kincaid. Hit to third. Linares has to go to first base with it, and does, and that puts an end to the inning. But the United States scores 3 runs. And at the end of 4.5 innings, they have now staked Ben Sheets to a 4-0 lead. To the bottom of the 5th, and a most important half inning for Ben Sheets, Team USA's pitcher, after a long time sitting and watching his team score 3. Now can he come back and get Cuba's hitters out?
Well, it's going to be important for him to really keep his focus, his concentration that has really got him to this point, retiring the last 10. And already tested right here, falling behind 2-0. When you're in a tight ball game, your concentration is greater because, you know, each pitch can burn you.
Strike 2-1. In there, 3-2. Another ground ball and a big hop to Everett. And Sheets comes back from 2-0 to get Pacheco.
That's the biggest hitter or the biggest out in the inning, because he took the count all the way out full, and he was able to get that leadoff hitter out, and that went a long way into relaxing him, especially after that long layoff in between innings. Tommy sensing just that.
He's feeling lucky, isn't he?
Yep.
Now, Tommy Lasorda and Ben Sheets have developed quite a relationship. Ben Sheets not a bashful kid. Macias with a flare, and that's going to fall just past second baseman Abernathy. A base hit for Cuba, their 2nd of the game.
Back when Tommy Lasorda was managing the Los Angeles Dodgers, he always went well out of his way to find a couple of clubhouse clowns to keep things loose. You think of Jay Johnstone, Jerry Royce. Really enjoyed the practical joke aspect of it. Well, Pedro Guerrero had his fair share of hijinks as well.
There's Miguel Caldes. Caldes, the right fielder. He's had 10 hits in the Olympics. Flying to right his first time tonight. And Sheets in for a strike. The rapport with Tommy and these players has been so remarkable to watch. Last night, as we were interviewing Tommy in the wee hours of the morning following the dramatic win, relief pitcher Todd Williams came up and planted a big kiss right on Tommy's cheek. Little dribbler. This is going to be a tough play. Sheets, off balance throw, and he got him. Boy, is that well done by Sheets, the only man who could have made the play.
Boy, that is remarkable, especially when a pitcher gets off the mound and he is throwing in an unbalanced position. When he's on the hill, obviously he's getting his weight behind it, as you can see right there, and just giving it his all. But here, having to throw blindly in many ways from his heels, and a rocket shot right over to first base to get him. Great play.
Boy, that could be cringe time for a pitcher, can't it, Joe?
Yep, because if you can get off balance and get your arm or elbow or shoulder tweaked in a way that it isn't in your pitching delivery.
So runner at second, 2 outs. Ariel Pestano, the batter. This is the first runner to reach second base for Cuba tonight. Well, this is the part of the order that hurt the United States on Saturday in the round-robin game. They got Linares and Kindle on, but the 7, 8, 9 men combined for 5 hits.
Well, you can easily understand how that would happen, because a pitcher, especially if you're a good competitor,
that'll be foul, and it's 3-2.
Is going to want to rise to the challenges and test himself against the best hitters in the lineup. So oftentimes you get yourself all focused and ready to go up against these good hitters, these great hitters in the lineup, that concentration wanes at the bottom half of the order. And when you give those hitters, these experienced Cuba hitters, the glimmer of hope, they'll certainly be able to take advantage.
Hit on the ground to second. Abernathy up with it, and Sheets is through 5. The United States in the gold medal game leads Cuba 4-0.
The Cubans are turned away in the bottom half of the 8th, the inning ending on this fine catch by Ernie Young in right field. Just about everybody contributing for the Americans now. Young's catch helps Ben Sheets keep his shutout intact. And Lasorda knows he's an inning away from the gold.
That's the best we've seen Ernie Young move in the Olympics.
That's right. You're right.
Juan Manrique takes over behind the plate for Cuba. It is the top of the 9th. But this is not the way Cuba wanted to play the top of the 9th. They are trailing 4-0. And the USA gets a free shot here. One chance to just pad the lead against Miles Rodriguez. They haven't scored any runs off Rodriguez in 3 2/3 innings of relief, but one big hit off him by Ernie Young. A 2-run single in the 5th. Rodriguez has not allowed any earned runs on his record in the Olympics, but he's actually given up 2 crucial hits to allow inherited runners to score. In the only game that Cuba has lost in 3 Olympic games to the Netherlands, Rodriguez came out of the bullpen with the bases loaded and gave up a 3-run double to former big leaguer Hensley Mullins. Cuba tried to shrug that loss off. They said, no big deal. We'll be ready to play in the medal round, as they always have. Pop-up caught by Macias at second, 1 down.
Well, Cuba has been famous for sleepwalking through some games and then all of a sudden turning it on like a switch and seeing a completely different team. I think they were very surprised to this point how well Team USA has rebounded, especially the first time they played them, and they completely outclassed Team USA in every facet of the game.
There was a Great shot, the Cuban fans, and behind them standing the players of South Korea, who lost the heartbreaking game to Team USA last night, but today came back to win the bronze medal. They beat Japan for the second time in the Olympics.
Do you think any of the Koreans are rooting against Doug Mankiewicz?
Well, there was no one that I've ever seen who would have predicted before these Olympics that the United States and Korea would both stand on the medal podium, and that's indeed what will happen. But right now, the focus, the United States, 3 outs from goal. And for Cuba, this is the ultimate in their country, where baseball is the only sport that matters. And where the political regime of so much controversy has placed such emphasis on sport and has decried professionalism, has called it the disease of sport, where those who've defected to find a better life have been treated rudely, the family members left behind harmed, friends harmed, players prevented from playing because they were friends of those who left.
That's one of the real reasons I think Livan Hernandez did not want to talk, even talk about Team Cuba, for fear that some relatives or friends left behind. Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
In our lifetime, it has been nothing but a powder keg. And Cuba, through primarily baseball, somewhat through boxing, Felix Savon, the great champion boxer here at these games. This is their country's pride, the justification of their system. And as Bob Costas mentioned when he was with us earlier tonight, outside of the American major leagues, it has always been held and believed in Cuba that they are the best baseball in the world. They feel that many of their players could play in the major leagues. And those that are right now are proof of that. And there was such incredible pride in Cuba when their teams played the Baltimore Orioles 2 very close games last spring. Mike Neal out on strikes. And that's 2 down in the top of the 9th.
Well, Mike Neal strikes out, but that home run he hit in his first at-bat has had as much to do with Team USA's success tonight as anything. It came early, it got them ahead, and gave them some more momentum to really settle in.
Now Ernie Young, as Ben Sheets waits, likely to pitch the 9th. The United States bullpen right now is quiet.
You're darn right he's pitched tonight, or he's going to pitch tonight. He has certainly earned it.
In the bottom of the 9th, the hitters for Cuba will be Germán Mesa, Luis Ulicea, and Yasir Gomez, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. If anybody gets on, Omar Linares will bat. No swing on appeal. So Ernie Young gets life. It's 2-1. 35 home runs for Ernie Young this year in AAA, playing for the St. Louis Cardinals team in Memphis. He hoped that would be enough to get a major league team to take note. Maybe the Olympics will. 2-2.
Well, I think if you hit 35 home runs at the AAA level, somebody can find a place for you.
He knows one thing, he's going home to his first son after 3 daughters. Baby that was born on Sunday.
Well, it's amazing in many ways, especially Major League Baseball and all the high contracts and millions of dollars, how a gold medal can mean as much, if not more, than just that.
That is low, so Ernie Young walks, keeping the top of the ninth alive for the United States, and it will bring to the plate Sean Burroughs, who's going to pinch hit for John Cotton as the designated hitter.
Ben Sheets fighting right now the tendency to get ahead of himself, the anxiety of wanting to get back out there.
Sean Burroughs, just 20 years of age. One of the most highly regarded young hitting prospects in minor league ball with the San Diego Padres chain. Now Ernie Young is being pinch run for. Anthony Sanders has gone in to run for him. And Burroughs fouls the pitch back. Sean Burroughs, as you see Sanders running at first. Burroughs, who has got the great pedigree, the son of Jeff Burroughs, former American League MVP. Sean Burroughs twice in the Little League World Series with Long Beach, California. At .291 this year at AA for the Padres. One and two. A lot of people thought Burroughs would play more. He has not seen much action in these Olympics, just 7 at-bats.
Well, he has swung the bat well, although the numbers really don't bear that out, but he has had some good at-bats.
And Rodriguez blows the fastball by him. So that does it in the top of the ninth. And now Team USA will run to the field, led by 22-year-old Ben Sheets for the half inning of their dreams. Brad Wilkerson is now in right field for Team USA. Anthony Sanders is in center field. And in the bottom of the ninth inning, the USA trying to win gold. And Ben Sheets, who has gone the distance, he has held Cuba to 3 hits, and he will face Javier Mendez pinch hitting here for Germán Mesa. A left-hand batter being used here to start the inning. Mendez, 36 years of age, just 2 at-bats in the Olympics.
Sheets still throwing well, 90 pitches. Many starters will tell you the 8th or the 7th inning are the tough innings. If you can get to the 9th, it's all on adrenaline.
2 and 2. Still life, 91 miles an hour in the 9th inning.
Tell you, Ted, if he was lying awake at night visualizing how well he could throw or what type of a game he could put together, I don't think he would have imagined pitching better than he has tonight.
His fiancée is engaged to be married, Julie, watching in Monroe, Louisiana, where he went to college. Very important figure in Ben Sheets' life, his college coach, Smoke Laval. Fouled by Mendez. Smoke Laval will be taking over one of the great college baseball programs in the United States. Next year, he'll replace longtime coach Skip Bertman at LSU. And Ben Sheets knows they're all watching in Louisiana tonight. The curve struck him out. What poise to drop that hook in the 9th inning.
Unbelievable. He's had command of the high fastball all night, and he's had the breaking ball. And you think of the importance of this game to have both pitches working, his 2 best pitches, and saving one of his better ones to get the leadoff hitter in the 9th.
And a fastball right in there. Called a ball to Luis Ulicea. That one high, and it's 2-0. Lucia hitless in 3 at-bats. Tried to butt his way on in the 6th. Kincaid in tight at 3rd. Takes a strike. Mike Neal shading Lucia to the left field line. The Cubans never thought they'd be in this spot. 2-2.
Well, they ran into a pitcher with all kinds of heart and good stuff to go with it.
Struck him out. 1 out from gold. There are American flags everywhere we look. People standing around this park. Can Ben Sheets complete one of the great individual performances in these Olympic Games and bring his team that was called a team of nobodies when they were chosen a month ago, a gold medal? Yasser Gomez takes a strike.
It is ridiculous how easy he's making it look.
The headlines, a bunch of nobodies will represent the United States in Olympic baseball. No one could have given them a chance for gold. 1-1 to Gomez. To left, to the line, Neal! Gold medal, United States! He called it the day he was hired. Tommy Lasorda said there's no way we're going 10,000 miles to lose. Nobody believed him. They said it was just more rhetoric. His players proved him a genius.
They had to play a perfect game to beat Cuba. And led by Ben Sheets, they did every bit of that. Big-time underdogs coming into this game.
The United States baseball team, together for 1 month, has beaten the most experienced international team in the world for Olympic gold. And you're looking there at the end of a baseball dynasty. An aging Cuban team considered the best in the world in international baseball, likely playing together for the last time. And they will make a walk that they never thought for a silver medal.
No doubt about it, Ben Sheets, outstanding job. What kind of pressure did you feel going into this game tonight when your manager says it's the biggest game he's ever managed? He's in the Hall of Fame and you have to face Cuba.
I guess that speaks for itself, you know, but we staked that early lead and the pressure was off.
The run you got in the first inning, the home run.
Definitely. I mean, when you score early, it always relieves a little pressure and gives you a little cushion to go out there and throw your game. And you know, I think that's what we did. We got a little confidence early and just kept it rolling.
The past year, you pitched in Ogden, Stockton, Huntsville, Indianapolis. Here you are in Sidney getting a gold medal. What does it mean to you?
It's just a great honor to come here and represent your country, you know, and for us to come in here and win the gold for the USA, there's no greater feeling.
Gold medalists, the USA baseball team. lucky enough to be there, I'll tell you. It gives you chills. Gold medal. And an emotional moment for an emotional man.